Ladies and gentlemen, it's mining and exploration time again. Welcome, Robert Archer, CEO of Newrange Gold. Hello, Bob. Nice to see you after 6 months.
Yes, I am. Good to see you too. Hope all's well.
Great. We have a look at current developments, but of course we have to go through the past months. Well, Pamlico is your flagship property still in Nevada, and we saw encouraging results in October. From the Merritt Zone. We come to this in a few moments because there are current developments. But in October, you announced in hole P2082 14 half an ounce over 9 meters, really significant. And give us your interpretation of the results, please.
Sure. Well, as many of your viewers will know, the Merritt Zone has been the sort of the high grade core targets, that we drilled back in 2017, and it's gotten a lot of attention from the markets, and we've continued to do some fill-in drilling and try to expand that a little bit. One of the difficulties exploring everywhere right now is the turnaround time for assay results, from drilling, and it can range from anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks even in some places. So we're fortunate that we're looking at about 5 to 6 weeks typically, but what that means is that you can't always get the results sort of almost in real time, that you can use them to continue to plan the program as it moves along. So you kind of have to jump around a little bit from area to area. So you drill a few holes in one spot, and then while you wait for results, you go over and you drill a few holes in another spot, and then by that time you've got results from the other one, so then you can use those to plan the next phase. So then you come back, and so it's kind of changed the way that we've had to conduct exploration, on most projects. And so, that's kind of what we were doing. And we drilled a couple of holes into the Merritt Zone, just fill-in holes really. And that's what that hole 82 represented, was just filling a gap. And, we got more, as you say, really, really good results that are fairly typical of the Merritt Zone.
Let me show to our audience, please, a map that I have prepared to get some visual.
Yes, of course.
Here is your property map, also with the new discovery that we mentioned in a bit later. The Merritt Zone is very small here, but you can continue if you have further to explain. I go to the next one, which is a zoom map. Here, better to see.
There we go. Yeah, so as you pointed out, the Merritt Zone is just sort of center left on the slide here, right? And so that's where a lot of the high grade has been discovered, and that's where hole 82 was, I guess east of where the Merritt decline is.
And interestingly, I read also that you said it already, there was a hole in 2017, 3 ounces, more than 3 ounces over 6 meters. This was also the Merritt Zone, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, it was in that same area. And in fact, hole 82 was drilled only about 25, 30 meters away from that hole. So as I say, it was just filling in a small gap in the drilling, really. So, no real surprises in terms of the results. But of course, it's always nice to get that confirmation.
Mm. And just yesterday, you had a press release, again, the Merritt Zone. So that seems really to be your treasure chest. It was 14, I think, how much was it? 12.5 up to 12.5 grams. And it was continuous mineralization, 100 meters with variations in the grade. It sounds to me that could be open pittable. Also very good.
Yes, very much so. I mean, even the Merritt Zone itself is only about 15 meters below surface, so it's very, very close to surface. And this new zone is, same sort of thing, about 10 meters down. So certainly open pittable. And if you can you go back to the slide just for a second,
yes,
Jan?
Sure.
I'll just point out where where that hole was drilled.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is just east of the Merritt Zone. And we thought that we had closed off the Merritt Zone on the east side with our previous drilling. If you look right where it says Merritt Zone, there's a little finger coming off the roads. Those are roads in black. Yes, right there. So it was right at the end of that finger that this recent hole was drilled, pointing just a little north of east. And so into the area, sort of pointing almost towards Goldbox. But you know, that's the area. There was no previous drilling in there. And so this is kind of a blind discovery in an area where there hasn't been really any other drilling. The only hole previously was drilling back to the southwest towards Pamlico Ridge. So it's significant in that sense that we can follow up on this now and hopefully add some additional tons and ounces. But importantly, it is very much amenable to open pit mining.
And not just that, you made a new discovery. If you go back to the map for a second, that is the area where you made a new discovery, and it was announced in early December, 1st of December,
right.
1,300 meters north of the Pamlico Ridge here in this area. Can you tell us a bit more about the new discovery?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it on here as the pale blue line, and this was hole 91, and it was testing an IP chargeability anomaly, so a geophysical anomaly that the survey picks up disseminated pyrite, fine-grained pyrite in the rocks, and we found that gold is often associated with pyrite, and so it's kind of an indirect method of targeting where the gold might be. And so when we drilled this hole, what we found was a zone of mineralization that was quite different from what we've seen down in Pamlico Ridge. Yes, you can see it here. So hole 91 was testing a little finger of the chargeability anomaly, but coming off the side of a much stronger one. When I say stronger, the reds, the purple colors are a stronger response, and that can often indicate either more abundant or perhaps more widespread pyrite in the rocks. So we can't quite get down to the main anomaly itself, to the core of this, because it's beyond the limits of the RC drilling that we're doing. So what we're testing right now is around the perimeter of the large anomaly with the RC drill to try and get as much geological information as we can, and then follow up with diamond drilling in a few weeks, towards the end of March, and then we'll be able to drill deeper with the diamond drill and test the core of that anomaly. So we've had a few follow-up holes now on hole 91 in that same area. And what we've found is that there is a series of relatively flat-lying stacked zones of gold mineralization that start at about 110 meters down, and right now, I mean, we only have a few holes, so we know that it extends for at least 200 meters east to west, and at least 50 meters north to south. So as we continue to drill, and we'll expand on that zone, and again, that's has significant potential for for open pit mining. And with the size of that anomaly, we know that it's more than a kilometer from north to south, and in places it gets up to about a kilometer wide. So it's very substantial in size. And if there's gold mineralization associated with it, throughout, then that really, really highlights the size potential of this system. And you mentioned that it's about 1.3 kilometers north of Pamlico Ridge. And so if Pamlico Ridge and the Merritt Zone and all of those are essentially being driven by that same mineralizing system, then the entire thing is related. And that's where you start to take on this whole district scale. And then, I'll just mention down to the southeast, we've been continuing the IP survey across the entire property. And we've picked up another strong IP anomaly down in the southeast in the area which we call the Scarn zone. And that one seems to be separate from the one that we're drilling now. But it's of a similar size. It's at least 2.5 kilometers north to south and more than 1 kilometer wide. So very, very significant. And we'll be drill testing that, some I guess in about a month or so.
Let me ask you for a summary what you plan for Pamlico this year, and then we have to have a look at your North Birch also, of course. This is also an exciting possibility. What do you plan for Pamlico this year? I assume the Pamlico Ridge, the new discovery.
Yeah, we'll be continuing with the RC drilling, mainly on this new discovery just east of the Merritt Zone, to delineate that, see how the size and orientation and that sort of thing. So we'll continue drilling there. We may be able to use the RC drill on some of the other targets that are relatively close to surface, and maybe expanding the zone around hole 91. And we'll be bringing in a diamond drill in about 3 weeks, subject to availability. And with that, we'll be drill testing the deeper targets at Pamlico. Lots of exciting results to come from the drilling, and the geophysics itself should be finished in about 2 weeks. We'll have final report from the geophysicists in about 3 weeks. We'll have those results out to the market as well, just to show the targets that we have and really the implications for the size potential. Because the whole the Pamlico project now has really taken on a new scope that is much, much larger than what we originally anticipated a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And let's come to North Birch. I read there are not in the not too far distance really high grade mines. Or previous mines, what do you plan for this year for the Canadian property?
Well, at North Birch, the main target horizon is what's called an iron formation, and it gets its name from the fact that it's very rich in iron and highly magnetic, and so you can pick it up with airborne magnetic surveys, and it's this the pattern that we've seen from these surveys that has led us to believe that there is a good possibility for gold-bearing structures following along that one horizon. And so what we've done is we sent again a geophysical crew in there to do an IP survey over that horizon. And the goal there is to detect zones of pyrite mineralization which may be gold bearing. And we know that there is gold in the rocks to the south. There is the old past producing Argosy mine, only 3 kilometers to the east. And First Mining's Springpole deposit is only about 15 kilometers away to the southeast, and that's almost 5 million ounces of gold. So, as you say, there's lots of gold in the area. We've got a really good target. It has never been drilled before because it doesn't quite come to surface. It's not exposed, so it's not really obvious unless you see the geophysical surveys. But it's a target that I identified about almost 20 years ago now. So I've wanted to drill this for a very long time. So I'm eagerly anticipating getting the drills on the property there. And so we've started the geophysics and the drilling. Subject to getting the permits. I'm hoping that we can get in there while the winter conditions still permit us to land on the lakes with skis if the ice is good enough. And And so, yeah, hoping that we might be able to start drilling by late March, early April. And if not, we'll have to wait until after the ice breaks up, and then we can get back in on float plains and so on. So it might be May at that point, but we'll be diamond drilling in there within the next few months.
Sounds like you have a busy year ahead of you, and luckily the treasury is also filled up. You just completed the sale of your Colombian assets and got 750,000 or so in the treasury. Sounds like a fully financed junior who is busily working and not yet appreciated from the market, Bob. That's my opinion.
Yes, no, and it's absolutely right. We did complete those sales, and in addition to the cash, we received a little over 550,000 shares of another mining company that is worth about $1.2 million in these markets. So we can sell those shares to generate cash to fund the programs as well. So we are in a pretty good position cash wise, and but very much underappreciated, undervalued at this point in time. And I think, in all honesty, one of the reasons for that is that a lot of investors that had been in the stock for a couple of years were looking for more high-grade results like we've been hitting at the Merritt Zone. When we discovered this new style of mineralization, and with the geophysics, it's taking a little bit longer to prove up this new target, and then with the delays in the drilling and the assaying and so on, it's a pretty hot market, and a lot of people are just basically speculators. They don't have the patience for us to develop this target, and but that's exploration. It's you have to build up these models if you want to be successful. Otherwise, it really just comes down to luck. It will take a little bit of time, but I think the potential payoff here could be huge. We could be sitting on something very, very large, actually, at both deposits, both projects.
And we are on the right market. The gold market is still a bit delayed, so the powers to be, they don't like a rising gold price, but they will not prevent it. And the investors will come back to the juniors, to the producers first, and to the juniors, of course. Robert Archer, President and CEO of Newrange Gold Corp. I thank you for today. Wish you a great day and all the best to Canada. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks a lot, Jan. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.